Welcome to the Moon Manifesting Podcast. I'm Kyra Howearth, your host. Here on the show, we talk all about manifesting your dreams with the power of the moon so you can use the cosmic energy to transform your life. Hey there, and welcome back to the Moon Manifesting Podcast. My name is Kyra Howearth, and today's episode is all about Pluto in Aquarius. So chances are, if you are on the online world and you follow astrologers or people who talk about astrology, you probably are already aware about Pluto moving into Aquarius. So this is something that's been getting a lot of hype lately. A lot of people are talking about this. And in today's episode, I'm going to really demystify what Pluto moving into Aquarius means for you in your personal life, as well as harnessing this energy within your business. Lots of good tips coming up in this episode, so make sure you keep listening right through to the end. I have so much to share about Pluto in Aquarius. Before we dive into that, I would just like to let you know that I have a free business chart guide available for you to download. It's in the show notes below, or you can go through to my website, kyrahowearth.com/business-chart-guide, or just click the link in the show notes. Will be a bit easier to access. And this free business chart guide will help you understand not only how to bring up a business chart for your business, but also a bit of an introduction to reading all those planetary placements, the business houses, and so forth. So especially a useful tool for you to use if you are a business owner or an entrepreneur and you want to start applying business astrology to your business. This is a really good place to start. Make sure you download that free business chart guide. Super excited to offer that to you all. So let's talk about Pluto moving into Aquarius and what this can mean for you and your business. So Pluto is now in Aquarius, and Pluto is one of the slowest moving planets, and I know that technically Pluto is not classified as a planet anymore, but in astrology we still count it as a planet. So Pluto, it has not quite like a regular orbit, like it's a bit what's the word? I think elliptical is the word I'm looking for. So it can vary how much time it spends in each sign. So it is going to spend the next 20 years in Aquarius. It will be in Aquarius until 2044, which seems like so far into the future. Like that, it seems like a long time away, right? And Pluto has been hanging out in a Capricorn for about the past 16 years. So it can generally spend anywhere from about 15 to 20 or even longer years in each zodiac sign. As I was preparing for this episode, I was like, well, how long is it going to be in Pisces for? I think it was going to spend about 24 years in Pisces, and then even longer in Aries and Taurus. It does take its time as it moves through each zodiac sign. So what this means is that as it's a slower moving planet, we don't always feel the effects of these Pluto ingresses as Pluto moves into the new sign immediately. It may take time for us to feel the effects of Pluto in Aquarius. And it's more of a generational planet where often you'll see people who are born with Pluto in the same zodiac sign, like these are people of, the same generation. So for me, I have my natal Pluto in Scorpio, and I'm a millennial. I was born in 1989. I think that counts me as a millennial. I don't know. I always get confused about these sorts of names that people give the generations. But a lot of people who have Pluto in Scorpio, like we're the same generation, right? And then you go back to like the people who were born with Pluto in Libra. They're more like the Gen Xers, they're kind of the generation before, who may have grown up in the 70s, and they're that sort of age. So if, like me, maybe you've had kids in the past, 15 years or so, your children are likely to have their Pluto in Capricorn. So this generation that's coming through, I'm not sure, are these guys like Gen Z? I'm not even sure what we call them. But like these, like we're going to see the effects of that Pluto in Capricorn generation come through as this generation. Like, you know, my son, he's got his Pluto in Capricorn, and he's now 15, he's almost 16. He's like, you know, finishing off high school at the moment, and he'll be starting his next level of study next year, and then moving into the workforce and all that sort of thing. And I'm really curious to see how that generation plays out and how they change the world with all that Capricorn energy. It's super exciting to like watch this from an astrologer perspective, to be honest. So yeah, so if you maybe are having children now, or having children in the next few years or next 20 years, your children will be the Pluto in Aquarius generation. And this generation with Pluto in Aquarius, these guys are really going to be the rule breakers, the rebels, the mavericks. They're really going to be here to shake things up and to create huge changes within the whole world for all humankind. I think they're really going to help make the world a better place, as well as have like a really futuristic way of transforming our lives, like with like the increase of the use of technology, of artificial intelligence, all those sorts of things, I think is really going to come through with this Pluto in Aquarius generation. So you can look at it in this sort of way as like the generational effects of how Pluto can affect us on a personal level. But the other thing to be aware of is as Pluto is moving through Aquarius, whether you know, have Pluto in Aquarius or whatever sign you have Pluto in, or whether you have children or whatever, what we want to be looking for to understand how this Pluto in Aquarius will affect you is by checking, do you have any planets on your natal chart that are maybe in Aquarius? So the thing with these slower moving planets like Pluto is that like I said, there's been a lot of hype about Pluto moving into Aquarius. It's like this new age. It's the age of technology. It's the age of revolution and innovation and all the things that Pluto in Aquarius can bring. But the thing is, as Pluto moves quite slowly, you may not feel the effects of this personally unless Pluto in Aquarius is going to be making an aspect with any of your natal planets or placements. So at the moment, Pluto is at 0 degrees Aquarius. So unless you have anything at 0 degrees Aquarius, or, you know, maybe give or take a few degrees, or any other zodiac sign that may be making an aspect to Aquarius, and I'll go through this in a minute, but we're still looking at that 0 degrees, okay? So unless you have any planets there on your natal chart at 0 degrees, it's unlikely that you're going to feel the effects of Pluto moving into Aquarius immediately. You may have to wait quite some time depending on your natal chart placements, and again, like depending on like what planets you have and how Pluto in Aquarius is actually going to activate those planets to see like, yeah, those sorts of effects. So they're going to come up for you personally. So what you can do is bring up your natal chart. If you don't already have one, I like to use astro-charts.com for a free chart. You just enter in your birth details and it brings up a natal chart for you completely free. So you want to find Aquarius on your natal chart. So as I said, Pluto has just moved into Aquarius. It's still hanging out at 0 degrees Aquarius. So the first thing that you'll want to look at is what house is that in? So in astrology, we do have 12 houses, and chances are if you're here, you've already done a bit of exploring into your chart. You maybe have a basic understanding of the houses, but basically like your first house is to do with you, your identity. The second house can be to do with your finances. The third house is to do with your communication and networking. Fourth house can be to do with your home and family life. The fifth house can be to do with fun and creativity. The sixth house can be to do with your health and day-to-day routines. The seventh house can be to do with your relationships. The eighth house can be to do with things like making money or shadow work, going deep into the mysteries of life. The ninth house can be to do with education or travel. The 10th house can be to do with the career and legacy that you want to leave behind. The 11th house can be to do with your community and friendships. And the 12th house is to do with your deeper purpose and like taking a step back, taking time off to rest and that sort of thing. So wherever Pluto in Aquarius is transiting through your chart, so finding that 0 degrees Aquarius, and you may not have anything there, but just finding what house that's in, and that way you'll know exactly where Pluto is transiting through your chart right now to understand what area of your life may be going through a transformation. And as Pluto does move quite slowly, you can understand like maybe what's going to come up for you over these next 20 years as Pluto moves through that area. And it's likely that Pluto in Aquarius will move through 2 houses, depending on your chart, maybe even 3 houses, depending of what's going on in your chart. Often two houses. So you'll see where 0 degrees Aquarius is, and that's just where Pluto is right now. So that's the first thing to look at, like what house Pluto in Aquarius is activating on your natal chart, and that's going to tell you what's going to come up for transformation or change. Okay, Pluto is the planet of transformation and change. And so wherever it's transiting, this is where you can start to expect some deep changes to occur. And as I mentioned, it can be quite slow acting. It's not going to happen overnight. Okay, so this is something that you may want to work on over this next decade or two. Okay, so really like a long-term sort of transformation here. So as I mentioned, you may not have anything at 0 degrees Aquarius, but you may have something around 0 degrees in other signs. So having a look on your chart, maybe you have placements around 0 degrees Leo, which is opposite Aquarius, or maybe Taurus or Scorpio, which are going to be square Aquarius. So if you do have anything at 0 degrees Leo, Scorpio, or Taurus, those planets may present some challenges or some tension or difficulties as Pluto enters Aquarius, or as it has entered Aquarius. Okay, these planets will be activated, and you might need to find some balance with those areas. There might be some sort of push-pull effect or some tension that you need to break through with those sorts of areas. And this will also depend on what planets you actually have at those degrees. But just being aware that there can be some challenging energies that can come up if you do have anything at 0 degrees in Leo, Taurus, or Scorpio. So on the other hand, if you do have anything at around 0 degrees Gemini or Libra or Aries or Sagittarius, these areas can be a bit more positive. These areas might undergo some sort of transformation with a bit more ease, with a bit more flow, and it may create a bit more opportunity. It may be just a bit more easy to find that positive energy flowing through those areas as Pluto makes a bit more of a positive aspect with those certain placements. So yeah, if you do have any natal planets hanging around 0 degrees in those signs, just having a look there and tuning into what that could mean for you. So that's what can be coming up in your personal life as Pluto enters Aquarius. And I mean, you can go deeper into this, and like if you have planets that maybe aren't at 0 degrees, but maybe they're a bit further on in the degrees, like that's obviously going to come up later on as Pluto slowly makes its way through Aquarius. So yeah, you can always use an ephemeris or some other sort of astrology software to figure out what that's going to bring up for you on a personal note. So let's dive into how to harness this energy within your business. Because I think you guys know, like, business astrology is something that I love talking about. And it's just super exciting how you can apply this stuff into your business, regardless of whether your business has anything to do with astrology or not. Like, I work with Reiki healers and nutritionists and massage therapists and like all these other sorts of people who, like, they don't necessarily use astrology in their day-to-day work, but they see the value of using astrology in the behind the scenes of their business to help them understand the energies of the best timing for things in their business, for the energetics of their business, and all this other stuff. It's such a helpful tool. So as I mentioned at the start, you can go through to my website and download my free business chart guide, and that's going to give you a really basic overview of how to read your business chart. And I also do send out like a bit of a guide for how to download your business chart, how to create your business chart, all that sort of thing as well. So if you're brand new to this sort of business astrology, that is a great place to start. So you can get that link in the show notes below, or just go through to my website, kyrahowearth.com. So similar to your natal chart, you want to find where Aquarius is on your business chart, and particularly looking at 0 degrees Aquarius, because that's where Pluto is right now. So wherever Pluto is transiting through your business chart right now, 0 degrees Aquarius, this is the area of your business that is maybe ready to evolve, that is maybe ready to transform, to change, to shift into the next level. So finding where that is on your business, and you can look back to my business chart guide to get an understanding of the business houses. The houses have a slightly different meaning when we're looking at it through the lens of business astrology compared to like reading a natal chart. So yeah, definitely check that out as a great resource. And again, like you might like to apply those same sorts of things that I talked about with the natal chart, like looking at maybe any other planets in the business chart that are at 0 degrees that may be making an aspect to Pluto at 0 degrees Aquarius. So again, looking at like Leo, Scorpio, and Taurus for any planets that may be there at about 0 degrees. And generally speaking, like we're looking at an orb of like maybe 3 to 5 degrees. As Pluto moves quite slowly, like we could probably narrow that orb down quite a bit to like, yeah, maybe 2 or 3 degrees. And yeah, again, those are the areas that may be bringing challenge if you do have planets at 0-ish degrees, Leo, Scorpio, or Taurus. And then looking for like the more positive aspects with planets that may be at 0 degrees, Gemini, Libra, Aries, or Sagittarius. So looking at that on your business chart. So I guess the other thing to be aware of here with business astrology and with Pluto in Aquarius is that we are all going through this. We are all going through this collective shift, this collective transformation and evolution as we enter this new age. And as Pluto moves through Aquarius, like we're all going to be maybe becoming a bit more open-minded. We're going to start like transforming so that we are a bit more open to trying new things, to embracing new technology and innovative approaches. We're going to want to try new things and be a bit different and stand out from the crowd. And as Pluto moves into Aquarius, this is a really great opportunity in your business to remove any outdated practices or systems or structures. And just remember that like your ideal clients, the people who you work with or who you want to work with, are also going through this transformation, and they are also wanting to try new things and embrace new technology and all that sort of stuff as well. So while you're going through this, your own transformation and your business transformation, think about how you can also use this energy of transforming and using the technology and all that sort of stuff to help your clients, to help the people who you work with. So maybe you're improving your customer experience through like automated forms that are all online rather than getting them to fill out like handwritten forms and all that sort of stuff, where you can embrace technology in your business to improve the experience for everyone, right? So going back to talking about like removing outdated practices and systems and structures, I actually heard from someone this week, and she was saying how she has a client and they are great. They pay her thousands of dollars every month, and it's one of her biggest clients. And this client helps her to even pay her employees or her contractors. And the issue though is that this company pays by check, which gets sent out in the mail. And so there's always delays with her getting this payment because it takes some time for it to arrive in the post. And like there's even been issues lately with the postal system, and she's had even more delays with getting paid. And I feel like this is such a great example of like this particular business that she's working for, of how they really need to remove those outdated practices. Like checks are so like, I don't know, 1990s sort of energy. Like we're in the 2020s now. Like I feel like businesses really need to keep up with the times and embrace new technology. Like why make someone wait for payment by sending a check in the mail when that payment can go through so much faster and efficiently through online banking or other forms of making payments. So thinking about ways that maybe in your business that are a bit outdated or that could be improved with the use of technology or just innovative approaches, rather than sticking to like outdated ways that maybe actually quite damaging to your business. So I hope that this has been helpful. I've got another tip coming up to harness this Pluto in Aquarius energy. But before we get into that, I would like to invite you to something really, really special. So if you are ready to harness this energy of change and transformation for yourself and your business, I would love to invite you to join Business Witch, which is the best way to work with me in 2025 for the entire year. This is honestly the most exciting thing I have ever offered out to the world, because it is really a collection of all my best resources and tools to help you manifest a magical year ahead that's going to help you feel your best. We're going to work on your wellness as well as working on your business. There's so much like business astrology and energetics, and as well as like all the practical stuff. We go into like sales strategies, marketing, as well as website support and technical support and all that sort of stuff. Plus, you also get access to the Moon Manifesting Coven, which is super magical and is really great for helping you manifest not only your business goals, but also your personal goals, and helping you to create a deeper sense of magic in your life. There's just so much included inside Business Witch. I calculated it all up to see just how much value I had included inside this yearling program, and it was like over $8,000. But you can join for way cheaper, like just a fraction of that price. And you can click the link in my bio to find out everything that's included and to get yourself on an early bird payment plan where the payments are broken down into bite-sized monthly payments that makes it really cheap and affordable. We get time every single month for a group call on every new moon. But you also get monthly one-on-one calls with me. So you're going to have me there with you step by step all year long, helping you with your business and your personal goals. This is super exciting and is such a great portal and container if you are ready to grow and evolve in 2025. So you'll find the link in the show notes below, or go to kyrahowearth.com/business-wish, cannot talk, kyrahowearth.com/business-witch. Obviously you're putting the dash rather than writing the word hyphen, or just click the show notes below. You'll find the link down there. So before I dive into my final tip, I just wanted to share that I did jump on a first call with someone who joined a Business Witch. Recently, we jumped on our first call to just finish off the year for her. And it was so good. In her first call, we were able to map out her entire marketing plan for the last 6 weeks of 2024. So she can finish off this year with a bang, sell some of her packages, bring in some money. And it was just so amazing just to see just how much we could achieve in one session, in her first session. So just think about the things that you would like to achieve in your business for 2025. And if this is something that you know that you would love help with, you just need someone who's been there, who's grown her business and has that consistent income to back it up. And if you want that same thing, Business Witch is for you. I will be there every step of the way to support you with your business as well as your personal goals. So one last final thought and tip about Pluto in Aquarius, because I see so much hype about these sorts of transits, like whether it's Pluto moving into Aquarius or like Saturn retrograde or even Mercury retrograde. And like, I feel like a lot of astrologers sometimes, I don't know, it's a bit of fear mongering or they just really hype things up. But I guess like what I want to say is don't be too worried about this sort of stuff, because honestly, unless you have natal planets that are being aspected by these sorts of transits, like for example, unless you have planets that are at 0 degrees in any of those zodiac signs that are being aspected by Pluto at 0 degrees in Aquarius, you may not notice much immediately. Like you may not notice much at all, and that is totally fine. Pluto moves really slowly, so you may not see the effects of Pluto in Aquarius for quite some time in your own life. And like I said at the start of the episode, like it is really a generational sort of thing. So we may not even really see the effects of Pluto in Aquarius until much, much later. So yeah, just keep that in mind before you start blaming Pluto in Aquarius for like all the chaos and everything else that may be entering your life, because chances are it may not actually be activating anything on your natal chart or even your business chart at the moment. So yeah, just a little, I guess, word of advice that yeah, it's it's probably not as bad as it seems. And yeah, I think there's lots of exciting stuff that will be coming up with Pluto and Aquarius. But yeah, it is going to be a time of change for sure. There is going to be so much transformation and innovation that's going to come up over these next 20 years. And it really is an exciting time to be alive and to witness these transformations. So I hope today's episode has been really helpful to demystify a bit about Pluto in Aquarius and what that could mean for you on a personal level, as well as how to harness this energy within your business. Don't forget to check out the show notes below, grab those links, grab that free business chart guide. And if you like this episode, be sure to give me a like, leave a review, give me 5 stars, all of those good things depending on what platform you're listening to. Your reviews and your ratings and all that sort of thing really make a difference. So thank you to everyone who leaves a review. I appreciate you all so much. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll be back soon with another episode. For now, stay magical, stay manifesting, and stay tuned. I'll talk with you again really soon. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Moon Manifesting podcast. If you are curious about working with the moon, you can read my book, Moon Manifesting, or join us inside the Moon Manifesting Coven. You'll find the links in the show notes, or go to kyrahowearth.com.